Hi, I'm Đura, the time traveler, and this is my lifestyle time travel blog. And today we have a Neolithic crash course. Now, let's go back in time. It's around 26,000 years ago, and if you are a man, you're likely a hunter. And if you are a woman, you're likely a gatherer. Hunters hunt some big game such as deer or wild boar or some smaller animals. And if you're a woman, you're collecting berries or nuts, anything that is available. So you follow those animals that you hunt wherever they go, because that is your food source. And because of that, you don't have a permanent settlement. Now it is 25,000 years ago and something changes. The weather is worse, it's colder. So this influenced the forests and the animals. Now let's imagine that you live somewhere in the Near East, for example in Jordan, and you start noticing certain grasses. And those grasses have grains. Then you look at them, you examine them, and you start wondering, are they edible? Can I use them to my favor? Then you experiment, you start processing them, and you realize, yes, they're extremely edible and delicious. And because those grasses produce grains once a year, you start adding them as a supplement to your diet because they are not available all the time. Now it's 15,000 years ago and the weather gets better and you have more food sources. The animals are back, you have more nuts, you have more berries, but you still have those grasses. You're a bit more relaxed, there's a lot of food, and you start slowly experimenting with those grasses. And now it's 12,900 years ago and you're still in the Near East and something happens again.
Is it the climate?
It is the climate! Thank you, Daka! And now animals and forests move again and you ended up with those grasses. And now you have to rely more on them. You want to make them dependent on you. They choose those grasses with bigger grains and with stronger rachis. Those are these things that are holding these grains together. And this process is called serial domestication.
Are you tired of hunting for breakfast? You want berries, but it's not a berry season. Thanks to the Neolithic, we have a solution.
Easy to make, wheat and barley available all year round, good for breakfast, fresh or stored. If it is a berry season, you can add them to the cereals. Pour some fresh milk and you have a perfect Neolithic breakfast suitable for the new age. Make your life easier, domestics. So now it is 9600 BC and you have to take care of those cereals. So you stay longer at one location because you have to cultivate them. Because they're one of your main food sources. And because you stay longer at one place, you start building more permanent round houses. But not only that, you start building grandiose public buildings such as the temple at Göbekli Tepe or the Tower of Jericho. And you still depict the wild animals because that's all you know. You have a special connection to them because they're still the source of your life. Not entirely, but they are significant. And this is called Prepottery Neolithic A. Now you're still in the Middle East and it's 8800 BC and you realize that you can control the nature. You've changed the nature, you've domesticated cereals. So you basically don't have to move at all. You start building permanent rectangular houses with permanent furniture and facilities. You start organizing your settlement, you start organizing your house. You use lime plaster to cover your floors because you know that you are not moving anywhere and that you can actually invest in your house.
Hello there! Are you tired of moving around?
We have a solution. Ever since the Neolithic, you can settle down.
Only today, an exclusive offer.
You can get a luxurious house in the city center with a temple view, so you can watch the sacrifices from the comfort of your home.
And if storage is your priority, you can get a house with a basement.
On the ground floor, you can store as much grain as you like, but on the upper floor, you have luxurious lime plaster floors.
With Timeline Houses, buy your new home today.
And we accept offers in cattle, cryptocurrency, grain, and obsidian. And because you have domesticated cereals, you start thinking, wait, I can do that better. So you turn to the animals. You start noticing those curious animals that are not too afraid of humans, that come near your settlement, such as the wild boar or wild goat, wild sheep or orches. And you select tame specimens and you start making a connection with them. You start building trust. And this process is called animal domestication. Now you start respecting and celebrating your ancestors because they are the one who made this lifestyle possible. What do? You take their skulls and then you line them with lime plaster and you take shells and put them instead of their eyes to make them alive again. And then you display them in your house. You start building temples, you start building proper villages, you start making ovens and bread, you have grindstones, so you grind those grains into flour to make bread. And basically the only thing that you don't have is pottery. So you take clay, you mix it with water and you start playing with it basically, making figurines and then firing them. And this is called Prepottery Neolithic B. And when you've made that figurine, you start thinking again, wait, I can do that even better. So then you start making pots. Now you have pottery, you have polished and grinding stones, you have domesticated cereals, domesticated animals, you live permanently in one place. You have organized yourself, your society and your way of life in a certain manner. Now it's the 7th millennium BC, you have all of that and you start thinking, wait, there's territory beyond the Near East, there's something beyond Anatolia, there is something beyond Jordan and those territories. So from the Near East, you start going to the Balkans. You inhabit the Balkans and then you go further around Europe. And you're taking all of these innovations with you. And this is called the Neolithic. And now some fun facts about Neolithic. Do you know that the oldest sculpture in the world comes from the Neolithic period? This is Urfa Man and he comes from Turkey and he was carved from limestone 9,000 years BC. This man was 1.8 meters high and he had eyes made from obsidian, the volcanic glass. The oldest domesticated cereal in the world was rye. It was domesticated in a settlement called Abu Huraira in Syria. This happened 12,000 years ago and even though it was the first domesticated cereal, that wasn't really important for the Neolithic people. Because wheat and barley tasted much better, so rye was neglected after its initial domestication. Do you know that the oldest temple in the world comes from the Neolithic period? This is Göbekli Tepe and it was built around 9,000 years BC. There are around 20 round temples and these huge pillars were made from limestone. They were not just plain and carved, they were also decorated with depictions of wild animals, such as wild boars, orches, snakes, scorpions, vultures, anything that they saw. And these magnificent structures were made only with simple tools. There were no metals, no lasers, no heavy machinery, and no wheel. Do you know that during the Neolithic there were temples for sacrifices? And yes, and one of them was found in Traiani in Turkey. This temple is called the Skull Building and there was an altar where animals were sacrificed. But on that altar some traces of human blood were found, so who knows. And skulls and long bones from arms and legs were found inside shafts and some compartments. But skulls were actually displayed on the shelves in this temple, so everyone could see them. Do you know that the interior design was born during the Neolithic? Yes, in Çatalhöyük in Turkey we have wall paintings. And those paintings depict the settlement, the volcano eruption, some vultures with headless people, and they also feature 3D leopards and modeled bull skulls, which are called bukrania. Do you know that the first model sculptures come from the Neolithic? Yes, they come from the site of Ain Ghazal in Jordan. They depict people, busts and full body. And they were 1 meter high. They were built from reed that was tied with a rope, and then lime plaster was applied to that core. And of course, modeled to resemble a human being. They represented both men and women, and face features and clothes were painted. Thank you for watching this video, and you know what to do. Like, subscribe, share, send to all, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!